Earnings season continues to roll in this morning. We're going to go through some of the biggest names reporting before and after the bell right here on this morning's edition of 3 Minutes on Markets and Money. Dow Chemical, of course, reporting today as well. And what we're seeing here is that Dow has been coming up here on the industrial side. Industrials have been under a bit of pressure lately, not really seeing that performance. Also, basic materials kind of lagging some of the rest of the market. Of course, this has to do with inflationary pressures as well, impacting their profit margins in particular, since they are direct beneficiary, or since they are particularly directly impacted by both supply chain shutdowns as well as inflationary costs. Dow has been coming up here. We'll see what earnings look like this morning. Looking at oil prices, of course, oil prices have been surging above $80 a barrel. Valero, as of course a refiner, has been doing very well. Energy stocks in general have been performing very well. These stocks getting fairly overbought here, fairly extended after a very strong run from recent lows. Oil prices also very overbought short term. So again, wouldn't be surprising to see a bit of pullback in the energy sector, see a bit of rotation. In late 2020, we talked about how energy would be the trade of the year coming into 2021. That has been the case. And of course, now everybody's jumping onto that trade, which suggests that probably as we get into next year, we'll see a rotation out of energy into some of the laggards that we see going on this year, just the way markets work. AT&T has been a dog of a stock for a very, very long time here, and communications in this area have been under a lot of pressure. Starting to see a little bit of lift here. They report earnings this morning. Hopefully that will help give the stock a bit more life here. This stock's currently yielding over 7% right now, just in the dividend yield. And again, so just if you buy and hold the stock, you're going to pick up 7% on your money. But again, the downside pressure on the stock has wiped out that dividend, of course, this year as the stock just continues to go lower. But again, when you're starting to talk about fundamental value versus growth stocks and momentum, this is a stock that is very cheap. Hard to buy the stock here, very enticing because of the dividend. Be a little bit careful of that because again, the stock has been and could go even lower than it is now. So again, kind of wait for this stock to turn up, start to show some signs of life. Then you can start to consider adding that as a fundamental hold for a portfolio. American Airlines and Southwest both reporting their earnings this morning. American Airlines really hasn't done a whole lot this year. Really, airlines in general haven't done a whole lot because, again, we're not seeing that big flush of customers coming back ready to fly just yet. Again, has a lot to do with where they are in terms of wages and economic growth. Southwest Airlines, pretty much the same story here. Again, not really doing a whole lot, been under a lot of pressure here. Regional carrier, and again, you know, this idea that we're going to see this big surge back to travel, of course, continues to be a problem. Southwest in particular having some problems lately, having to cancel, thousands of flights as there was basically a call-in sick by their pilots relative to the vaccine mandate. So again, this stock continues to be under pressure as well, getting fairly oversold here. And again, if earnings do come in well, we could see potential pickup in this stock. Transportation stocks have been under pressure previously. All of a sudden, they have come roaring back to life. Union Pacific reporting earnings, of course. This stock has already had a massive run here just over the course of the last couple of weeks. A big chase into the transportation sector. Not really much cause for that. But again, stock is very, very overbought here, about to trigger a money flow sell signal. So if we do get a disappointment of earnings, which is very possible because of higher inflation costs and, of course, just slower economic growth as well, supply chain disruptions, there is downside risk. So this would probably be a great candidate to take some profits in if you're long Union Pacific at this time. I would, of course, be remiss if I didn't include the world's most expensive burrito. Chipotle Mexican Grill has had a huge run here over the course of the last couple of months, has been kind of stagnating here recently. Earnings expected to be very well. A lot of people buying burritos, I guess, and they just came out with their new brisket burritos, so we'll see how that pays out for them. But again, stock has already had a huge run. Stock trade, this is a restaurant that sells burritos trading at very high valuations, extremely high levels of price to sales, really unable to support that valuation if they just sold every burrito to every person on the planet. But again, this has been a favorite momentum stock for a lot of traders. A stock has been consolidating here. If they do well on their earnings report today, we could see that stock move higher. And again, not completely overbought at this point and on a money flow buy signal. So again, been holding support. Look for good earnings here to help move that stock higher. But again, at $1,800 a share for the stock, it's a very expensive burrito. That wraps up 3 minutes on markets and money today. For earnings, we'll be back here tomorrow.